So you want to lose weight. You've been looking at what diet to choose: keto, paleo, you name it, right? Whole Foods, Whole 30, so many to choose from. Maybe intermittent fasting is something I should do. Well, this is my suggestion for you. First of all, understand what it is that you're wanting to accomplish. Okay, what does success look like? Is it a certain weight that you're reaching for? Is it a certain look that you're reaching for? Is it a certain size? Is it a certain feeling? Is it an emotional thing? Is it happiness? Define success. And it's okay if you have a couple definitions of success, but pick one that really means something to you. If it's just what's on the scale, like I want to weigh 135 pounds, right? Okay, that's all right. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of people who they hit that weight and they don't feel fulfilled. They still feel like there's something missing. So really look for what the success is on it. All right. And then what I suggest from there is what feels kind of normal for you. What is something that you could do that you could live with the rest of your life and enjoy? Now, if that is taking carbohydrates out of your diet, doing like a keto diet or something, and you're fine with just eating vegetables and protein, awesome. You can do that, and you can learn ways to continue to do that and be healthy. Likewise, if you feel like, you know what, I really don't need to eat bread, but I do like rice, I do like carbs, I like potatoes and stuff, maybe Whole Foods is something that you could look at. You can still have the carbohydrates that you like. You can still have the protein and vegetables and everything. Just maybe you take out a lot of processed foods. Processed foods are very easy to overconsume, right? Now, there's some other kinds of people out there, and maybe this one is you. Nod your head yes if this is you. You want to kind of eat what you already are eating, and you don't want to give those things up. Now, that might be things like ice cream. That might be things like bread. Maybe it's even candy. Maybe it's a chocolate bar. Maybe it's corn dogs. These aren't traditional things that we hear about that are kind of like, diet foods, right? The fact is, I know people, and I'm sure you know people too, who actually are not obese, who are not overweight, or if they are, they're just a little bit, who eat those things and they don't have all the weight. Now, everybody's a little bit different, okay? We all have a little bit of genetics. And let me tell you something. If you are overweight by a lot, okay? If you're obese, if you have an extra 70 pounds, something like that, could even say 50, it's not necessarily your genetics that's causing all of that. Your genetics plays a small role, but more of the role are the habits of your eating habits. How much are you eating? Are you eating, a handful of chips? Or are you eating 10 handfuls of chips? Are you consuming, steak, potatoes, and some vegetables, and that's it? Or are you eating steak, vegetables, potatoes, going back for a second helping of whatever, and then you're eating dessert at night, and then before bedtime, you're chewing on something else. You're eating something else because you just need an extra little something before bed, right? So we need to deal with those things. So choose what works best for you and find somebody to help you. It's very difficult for most people, not everybody. I know I don't mean to generalize, but I don't have 30 minutes on a simple post to discuss it all. That's something that I work with for clients. But find something that works for you and then try to find someone who to follow and to help you through that kind of thing. If it's keto, find the keto person. If it's somebody like myself who you just want to eat what you enjoy eating and learn how to eat a proper amount of it and become a normal eater of the foods you already like eating, you could follow me, you could follow other people, that's fine. My point is, you don't have to do it on your own, okay? There's Facebook groups out there, yes, that you can go in and try to find, well, what can I do? Here's what I do. And you can try and troubleshoot and everything. That's going to take a long time, and it's going to be kind of hard because there's a lot more to it. In Facebook groups, you usually just hear a lot about the foods you should eat, the foods you should avoid eating, things like that. But let me tell you something, and maybe you know this to be true for yourself. Losing weight is not about the food, okay? It's not about the food. It's part of the food. It's about this thing. No matter what you decide to do, no matter what plan you try to follow, I'm going to tell you right now, it all boils down to what do you do when you walk through that grocery store? What do you do when you go out to dinner at night and you're with all your friends who eat all those things there, and in your head you're trying to lose weight and all those things there are not really going to help you lose weight? What do you do when you have a bad day at work? What do you do when somebody pisses you off, when you're stressed out, when you're too tired, when you're irritated, right? All those things. Those are the things that you need to look at to lose weight. When you figure those things out, the food part becomes easier. If you would like to learn more about that, check out my podcast, Losing It with John. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. You don't have to do this on your own. I've lost weight myself. I've helped my wife lose weight. I've helped family and friends lose weight. And then I've moved on to helping clients lose weight. And you can do it in whatever way that is good for you. It's just about learning to eat a proper amount of food for your amount of movement that you do. I know people who do keto and their weight stops. They're not losing any more weight. And it stays there. And they're why? What's going on? I'm eating low carb, but I'm not losing weight. My mother-in-law, my mom, both my mother-in-law and my mom, barely eat any food. You'd be like, oh my God, why are you not losing weight? You're like, you hardly eat anything. I had but you know what? I'm going to do another one on my mother there, okay? But just since I mentioned it here, she was eating very, very few calories and not losing weight. And there's a reason for that. So I'll do that in my next video if you want to watch the reason why that is. My point being that it's not always about the food and the diet, okay? It's about the thought process. It's about the thinking. It's about your approach and understanding what causes people to gain weight and lose weight. And when you understand those things and you understand what is the most important aspect of losing weight, which is this thing right here, okay, right here, you can lose any amount of weight that you want and you can be happy. All right. So check out my podcast. Sometimes it can get a little deep, right? Check out my podcast, Losing It with John, and I'll see you there.